Good morning, good morning, good morning. We're going to jump in and get started here. Today we're doing the 5-day real estate sales and marketing audit challenge. So I'm going to drop into the comments. It's also in the description. If you haven't registered for the workbook, then make sure you register for the workbook. I'll display it here on the screen as well. So if you've never received the 5-day audit workbook, make sure you go to that website. You just sign up with your email and it will get emailed to you so you can join in as we fill out the workbook. And we'll go ahead and dive in and get started. So, see, we have a couple people joined live. If somebody just wants to type into the comments for me and just say, hey, good morning, let me know you can hear me. Excited that you guys are live, and just give me a quick comment, good morning, or how you doing, like friends or whatever, so I know you guys can hear and see me. Any Friends fans out there? All right. So while I'm waiting for those, sometimes there's a lag between comments and when I ask for things. So while we're waiting for that, I'll just go over a couple things. Again, there's the website. Oh, good. Daniel can hear me. He said, good morning. Good morning, Daniel. If you want your name to show up like Daniel's, there's a link in the description of this video to register your name with StreamYard. If you're watching from Facebook, you have to register your name with StreamYard. Otherwise, it will just say Facebook user instead of like where it says his name. Either way, it's fine. But if you want us to see who you are on the live, you can do that. All right. This is where you register. I'm going to give as much knowledge, go over as much as I can while we're live today. The goal is about an hour. Sometimes the first day, day one, because we're doing the workbook, it can go a little bit over depending on how interactive my audience is. But you can always jump off at the hour mark or stick around. We try to keep it around an hour. So we'll be live every day this week at 10 a.m. I started on Tuesday this week because of some technical difficulties. So we'll be live Tuesday through Friday this week at 10 a.m. If you have any questions, ask away. I actually love it when you ask questions, answer questions. You want to get out your notebook or open your note taker or download that worksheet that will get emailed to you if you register at this website. Just in case you're just now joining, you want to register at this website to get the workbook that we're going to be going over, and you can fill it out as we go along. I'll be doing it live as well. Okay, I'll just leave that up there for another second. Another thing is it's really, oh, somebody in Italy, Facebook user. Nice. We have it's afternoon in Italy. I wish I was in Italy. It's on my bucket list. I've been to Europe just a little bit. I went to England and France, and I had a layover in Germany, which probably doesn't count. But I really want to go to Italy. Italy and Greece are on my bucket list. All right. So it's really helpful if I have people interacting like those two were. For me, I'm kind of staring into the camera. I can't see your beautiful faces like when I do a Zoom meeting with you guys. And so it's helpful to see those comments, interactions, answer the questions, ask me questions. Allows me to gauge where you're at, what questions you might have, and be able to help you as much as possible or give you the knowledge that you're desiring as much as possible. So I really enjoy that interaction. All right. So today, day one, we're going to conduct a company audit of your business, kind of looking into 4 main components of a real estate investment business: marketing to property owners. And then we're also going to audit sales and lead management. We're going to talk about operations, and we're going to talk about KPIs. And we're going to kind of audit those 4 components of your business individually, and then also get an overall kind of score for your business. This enables us to determine like what components of the business are healthy and which ones would you maybe want to focus on a little heavily to kind of get them back where you want them or to kind of build them up to where you want them. Then normally it's 4 days. We cover each of those 4 areas. I will end up combining 2 into 1 day this week since I started on a Tuesday. So like tomorrow we'll kind of dive into marketing. Thursday, we'll talk about sales and lead management, and then I'll probably try to combine operations and KPI into 1 day on Friday. And we'll kind of dive into those areas and talk about, what you want to see there. We're not going to be able to completely build up your operations, for example, in 1 hour live together, but you'll have an idea of where you can go for the resources, what information you need to know, and some of the things you should be focusing on. If you decide to become an REI SIF customer, so if you're not already a user, this information is helpful to everybody. We're going to talk about like everybody, no matter what your business is, should be auditing your business, for example. And we'll talk about marketing strategies, not just using REI Sift, but if when I show how to implement some of those things, I will be using REI Sift. And so if you're not a user yet and you become one, we do have an offer available for you. And then even if you are already a user, we do have an offer available to everybody as well if you stick around till the end. This is if you become a user, if you're not a user yet, then you can use this code on sign up, the code 5-day audit, and you'll get $25 in free credit. So credits in REI Sift are used for skip tracing or direct mail. And so if you're not a user yet and you become one, you can use $25 in credits to help you get started. And then we'll have an offer for everybody at the end as well. All right, so who am I? Those of you who maybe haven't seen me live before or haven't had a meeting with me or anything like that, I'm Jessica. I am actually had a little bit of a title shift here at REI Sift. I was the customer education specialist. I am now the customer success lead. So my job at REI Sift is to help you find success using REI Sift in your business. So that entire, we have a big focus on education. So I do a lot of education. I do the challenges. I do all that kind of stuff. And I also have meetings with users as far as premium strategy, premium success, trial meetings, all those kinds of things. I'm a former teacher of 7 years, and so I have a passion for imparting my knowledge onto others and helping them be successful. And that's made me an expert at taking big ideas, big concepts, whether that's algebra, calculus, or real estate investment, and trying to break it down into digestible pieces, easy, actionable steps for others to implement in their business or in math. All right, that's me. So what is REI Sift? We are a sales and marketing CRM, strong educators, a community of like-minded business owners. We create sales and marketing ninjas. All right, let's dive into like the meat and potatoes now. So we're going to do our business audit today. So you may have, as you've either just been starting out or if you've been in business for a long time, right? Sometimes we encounter problems in our business or things that aren't quite going the way that we want. So since we have a few people live, anybody want to comment in the comments any like problems you've run into in your business so far? Like what brought you to REI Sift? What are you trying to accomplish with REI Sift, or what kind of things are you looking for? So I'll wait a second because sometimes there's a lag. And if we're feeling shy and nobody comments, I'll say some common ones people tell me when I'm on those meetings. But I'd love to hear from you guys if anybody wants to type in any kind of issues you're coming up with, or things, maybe not even a problem, but things that you want to improve in your business. Wait like 30 more seconds, see if anybody answers. All right. Oh, here we go. Daniel says some of his problems are complicated CRMs and making it simple in one place, plus stacking the leads. This person wants to make sure that their marketing cost is effective. So kind of what I'm hearing here, maybe Daniel, you have like more than one thing that you're using maybe for a CRM and you want to keep it all in one place, and stacking leads. I don't know if you mean list stacking, which we do, or just getting higher lead generation. That's a really common one that I hear, like I want more leads, right? And then this person, they want to make sure their marketing cost is effective. So those are really good ones. Other ones that I often hear, like I said, having consistent lead generation, or, really big goal, I want to make more money, right? Like those are like the overarching goals. But both of those, and what Daniel and the Facebook user from Italy that we all wish we were an Italian afternoon with right now. Both of those problems or issues that they're mentioning kind of derive from the same sort of things. It's wanting insight. So when we're talking about making sure the marketing cost is effective or having it simple in one place, Both of those things are really talking about having the insight into your data, into your spending, into your CRM, and being able to have the insight to see what's going on and see all the processes in place, and having the clarity of knowing, what am I spending? What is it costing me per lead? What am I what techniques am I using to get the lead generation? And so oftentimes people come and they say, like, my issue is the big thing. And what we really want to do is be able to narrow in on what are the things that we can resolve that will fix the bigger issues. And so that comes from lack of processes, not having processes in place to have the clarity, to have the insight. And so, what we're going to try to do throughout this process as we do the audit today, and then if you join the next 3 days, because we're starting a day late this week, is give you the clarity and the insight. So, how can REI Sift give you insight, give you clarity in your data, in your marketing, in your CRM, right? To have all of that laid out. And we're not going to have the processes completely built in a few hours live together, but you'll have the insight to know what processes need to be in place and what resources can I go to build those processes, or how do I get help from somebody at REI to build those processes, right? So you'll have the insight and clarity to know what needs to be done. And then as far as actually building the processes, you'll have the tools to know what you can access or how to start building those processes. I don't want to All right. So again, there's the workbook one more time. So if you need to grab the workbook, because we're about to dive in and do it, make sure you go to that website. You just type in your email, and the workbook should get emailed over to you pretty immediately. And so a comprehensive company audit is what we're going to do today. Is a thorough and detailed examination of your company's marketing, sales, data management, operations, and KPIs. Those are the 4 areas we're going to kind of focus on in your business. And you want to have an accurate assessment of each of these factors before seeing your company's overall performance, right? So we're looking at, like I said, those 4 main areas: marketing, sales and lead management, operations, KPIs. Where do I stand on those topics? And we're going to get a score for each of those areas. And then we're also going to get an overall score for like company health. And what that allows us to do, why we broke it down by each section specifically, is so that you can say, okay, you know what, this month when I audited my business, my marketing was my lowest score. So, in order to improve my overall company health, I'm going to dig in on marketing this month and kind of drill that down so that that score improves. And then maybe next month or next quarter, because you should be regularly auditing your company, when you audit again, maybe that month, KPIs is where you need to dig in. And so it allows you to focus on like the area that needs the most attention first. And so we're pretty proud of this worksheet. Tyler and I kind of built this together. It was his concept, and I kind of built it out for him, and we're really proud of how it came out. And so I hope you guys enjoy it too. So why is it important? So regardless of how long you've been in business, how big your company is, whatever, regular company audits are crucial for all investors and really all businesses in general. We do it as a software company at REI Sift. We meet quarterly, and there is a survey that we fill out, and we look at all of our financial numbers, and we dig in quarterly and see, where are we standing, where can we improve, where do we need to dig in. And so that's true for all businesses. I've worked for Target. Target sends surveys to their employees to see how we feel, and they do quarterly audits, right, at the company level and the store level. So no matter how big, your business is, how early you are starting out, or if you're a giant corporation like Target, you should be auditing your company's health, because if you don't dig in and figure out where we can improve, even companies that are making millions of dollars a year have the room to improve or grow. And so we want to dig in and figure out where that is. And if there is a problem, if there's a leak or something's escaping, we want to be able to plug that sooner. Making kind of these surveys that we're going to do, you also sometimes do them at the doctor's office, right? Where they'll say, like, you score yourself 1 through 5 on these different health factors. And so you're doing like a health screening similarly, right? Your physical health needs to be checked on, needs to be like make sure that you're okay, right? And so the same thing with your business. We don't want to bury our heads in the sand and not know where the leaks, where the cracks, where we need to build things back up. And so we want to pinpoint specific issues and focus on the most pressing problems to improve each month or each quarter and gradually improve your overall performance. All right, one more time, just because sometimes people join late. There is the website to get the worksheet. And with that, we are going to dig in to the worksheet. So if you'll allow me just a second, I'm going to switch screens to the workbook. Maybe. There we go. And give me just a second. So I'm on my tablet. So I downloaded my workbook to my tablet and I'm going to like physically write on it. You can print it out and write on it. If you have like Adobe and you want to type on it, that's also fine. Whatever works for you. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is talk a little bit about numbers, because part of our overall health obviously is where are our profits, how much are we spending, digging into those types of things. And so this first couple pages, we made a place for you to put down all of your expenses and then calculate your profit margin. If this is your first month or your first couple months in real estate, you may not have closed a deal yet, and that's okay. You may have a negative profit margin to start out, and that is expected. A lot of people are working still their full-time job until they start making the money that they want in real estate, or they're driving with Uber to finance the marketing costs that they have, or, whatever the case is. Sometimes we got to hustle to get started. So, don't be too hard on yourself if you're in those early stages and you don't have that profit, but you do have this. And you'll just we'll write down that we have negative profit margin to start out. And that will go into the survey that we do in a minute. And then some people, may have been in the business for a while, and this is also useful to get just to do an assessment quarterly, like what are my costs and what are my earnings? How much profit am I making? Is that healthy? Is there anywhere that I can cut cost? Those types of things. Am I being the most effective possible? So we're going to start with, we kind of broke it into sections for costs. This first page is your business expenses. And so tools and marketing. So we included prospectors, which would be like your VAs, maybe doing your dialing into your marketing. So you're going to put down like your cost here. So I'll do some examples. REI SIF, maybe you're on the professional plan and you're spending, let me get my pen going here. You're spending $149 a month on the professional plan. Direct mail, maybe you're spending $100 a month on direct mail. And this is going to vary depending on where everybody's at in their business, what their marketing strategies are. And that's why we left some blank spots here, whether you're doing bulk or niche, which we'll talk about more tomorrow. So are you using a bulk dialer or a bulk SMS tool, or are you niche solely? So you're using a click to call service like smartphone or air call. So you're going to fill in these expenses. If you have a VA, that's doing just marketing. Maybe I have a VA, I'm paying her $750 a month. I spend $200 a month on skip tracing. Maybe I'm not doing bulk dialing or bulk SMS. I'm doing more of a niche process. So I'm spending, I don't know, $149 on my click to call platform. And then if you have any other marketing expenses, you're running Facebook ads, anything else like that that fits into the marketing category, you're going to put those line items here. And then we're going to add that up. Okay, I'm going to open my calculator to add it up, but I need you guys to do me a favor. Sometimes I accidentally leave this calculator on the screen and I don't realize until, because I look down at my tablet and I'll start writing and then I'll accidentally leave the calculator on the screen and I block it. So if I do that at any point of this, please yell at me in the comments. You can use all caps and be like, put your calculator away, okay? Because I've done it more than once, but I'll try not to. So I'm going to add up these expenses. So 750 plus 200 plus 149 plus 100 plus 149. And so my marketing expenses, if this was my marketing plan, would be $1,349, right? So $1,349 on marketing expenses. Then we created a section here for other expenses. So this could be the rent that you're paying, your office expenses, your utilities, your internet bill, anything like that that you can think of. Other expenses, the money you spend on ink, whatever. Your QuickBooks, your other software that maybe isn't that could kind of fit in tools too, I guess. But anything that you didn't put in your marketing that is an expense, we're going to add it here. So we left a lot of line items here. If you're working from home, you may not like pay rent, but one thing to consider, like for tax purposes later, you can pay yourself rent. You can itemize the things that you're using in your business, right? So, anything that you're doing here, you're going to add that, right? So maybe my office expenses are 300 right now. I'm not paying any rent. My utilities, my anything like that, you're going to mark it down. I don't want to spend too much time on this page, but when you're doing this individually, you should take the time to kind of review it, figure out what were your other expenses for the month. So for this one, I'm just going to put $300. Okay. Now this is your team. Now I put some boxes here to do some calculations. You, however, don't have to use the boxes. Really, here is the most important box, the total. I put these boxes here to do calculations so you could do like, oh, I paid my acquisitions person, $700 and there were two of them. Or, I paid them this much hourly times how many hours. Really, the calculation though isn't the most important because some of these roles are commission based. Some of them, it's going to vary. So, what's really important is that you put like the total amount that you paid that role over here. I don't have these roles, so I'm going to approximate, or if anybody wants to share in the comments, how much did you pay your lead manager last month or something like that, right? So you're going to put in the total amounts that you spent. Some numbers that I've seen before, I don't know really, but we'll put like, I don't know, maybe $1,000. Right? So you're going to put in how much did you pay these roles. There is room here to put in other roles as necessary. But really, the overall expense is like, how much did you pay your team last month? And if you're tracking this in something like QuickBooks, you can really just put that amount here. How much did I pay my team members this month? I did put, like your prospectors, like if they're just doing marketing, I put them under the marketing costs, but any other team members, I made a section for the team. All right. So then I'm going to add this up. So on this page, we're going to start calculating our net profit, right? So we had $1,349, $300 in section 2, and then $1,000 in section 3. And so that is 2,649 when you add it up. Former math teacher. That's not hard math though because it's the zeros, but so don't be too impressed. But that is what it adds up to. There is a typo on my sheet. If you just downloaded yours this month, it got fixed. So I need to download the new one to my tablet. That should be a minus there. So please fix it if you have the old version. But if you have the newer version, it should be corrected to a minus. Imagine my embarrassment on the first live. I tell everybody I'm a former math teacher and then there's a math mistake on my worksheet. Just kidding. It's not really embarrassing. Everybody makes math mistakes sometimes, right? But we fix them. That's what's important. So then you want to look at how much, revenue did you make last month? So this is my expenses last month. I spent $2,649 on all of my business expenses. And maybe I closed one deal that I wholesaled and my fee was $12,000. Then I want to subtract my expenses, 2,649. We're going to subtraction. Where's my mouse? Open our calculator again. So we're going to do 12,000 minus 2,649, right? Yep. And we get 9,351. So that was your net profit, like in dollars. What we want to do is calculate a percentage. If you are negative right now, you can just put in like, you had a negative percentage. That's to be expected early on in the business. So like if you haven't closed a deal yet and you've only accrued expenses so far, you're working your W-2, you're driving for DoorDash, whatever the case is, you might have a negative profit margin to start out. If you have made a profit, that profit is going to go on top of this fraction, 9,351, the numerator. The denominator is your like gross revenue. And then you're going to divide those and multiply by 100. So that number divided by 12,000 times 100 gives you your profit margin. So that's 77.9 or 78%. That would be a pretty good profit margin. 77.9%. Now, of course, this is before taxes. I didn't take into account taxes in this situation. You should be using a tax software, consulting a CPA to make sure you're putting away the necessary amount for taxes. I'm not a tax expert, but make sure that you're taking that into account as well. But this would be before taxes when we calculate the net profit margin. All right, so what we're going to do, that is your first calculation that we did. Now we're going to use that in the survey. Now we're going to actually dig into the audit part. We're going to answer these questions down below on a scale from 1 to 5, 1 being never, I never do that, 5 being always, except there is one question about profit margin that we'll answer a little bit differently. Now these questions are divided into sections. So section 1 is marketing. So we're going to answer some questions about our marketing. I may, like on number 3 each time, ask you guys to type in what you think. Sometimes the lag is a little bit much, so I'm not going to ask like for you to type in what you score yourself for every question because the lag just gets like really bad. But I'll kind of fill in some, and then just to kind of give you an idea of how it works, and I will ask for some input, maybe like on number 3 on each section. So, all right, number 1, a systematic process is in place for acquiring new data and follow it through marketing. So you have a way to pull your data on a regular basis or however often you pull it. Like if you're getting it from the county, maybe you pull it weekly, monthly, whatever. Once you do get new data, you know how to upload it into a system like REI Sift. You have a process to skip trace it, get it ready for marketing. So you have a process in place for that. I'm going to score us a 4 or 5 on that one because, hopefully if you're with us here at REI Sift, you do have a process in place to upload your data into REI Sift. You skip trace it. It has numbers. You know what to do if it doesn't have numbers. You have a process in place for that. Number 2, it's easy to determine what data has been marketed to and what strategies have been used. So you have a way of knowing, okay, this data, I have this list of addresses, this list of prospects, I have marketed to it or I have not. Not only that, but I know which ones I have called but not texted, or which ones I have done niche marketing on, how many attempts I've done. I've done niche marketing, but I haven't direct mailed. I've direct mailed, but I haven't deep prospected, right? So you have a way to know what's been done with the data and what has not, so that you have the business intelligence to be able to tell what process should this go into next. I'm going to give us a 3 on that one. All right, number 3, be ready to type some scores in for me, guys. I'm going to ask you guys to poll. I'm going to poll, P-O-L-L-U on number 3. Marketing strategies are employed to maximize their effectiveness, including avoiding targeting phone numbers or property owners that have already been reached. So when you get like a new list and you upload it into your platform or whatever you're doing, maybe you're just still using a spreadsheet, any of those records that you've already talked to the homeowner before. You've got a correct number for, that is, you have a number for the owner. You're not spending money putting them into the bulk dialer because you know which ones you've already reached, right? And then you're also utilizing multiple channels to reach your target audience. So like you have a plan. If you're doing a bulk strategy, just for example, I'm going to cold call them 4 times. Then I'm going to text them 3 times. Then I'm going to send them direct mail. And you're doing that until you get in contact with the homeowner. So I just kicked my camera. Oh boy. While I fix my camera, type in a score for that for me. Let's see, is that right? Type in a score for me on that one, 1 through 5. Where do you feel like you're at on number 3? 1, remember, is you never do that or you're not having that process, and 5 is it's 100% on track. You do it all the time. So where are you at on number 3? I'll give it just a second because sometimes it takes a little bit for those comments to come through for me. Give yourself a score on number 3, 1 through 5. Where do you think you're at? I never know if it's the lag. This is why I don't ask every question anymore, because sometimes like the 30 seconds or whatever makes it seem like takes a while. So I don't want to wait too long, but I want to give you guys a chance to vote on number 3. Where do you think you're at, 1 through 5? All right, if I don't hear from anybody, I'm going to give us a 2 on this one, because I feel like sometimes before people are REI Sift users, especially, they're spending money like skip tracing records they've already had before, or calling the same homeowner because they didn't realize they already had a correct number. If you're working out of spreadsheets, it can be hard to realize, which people have you already marketed to and which ones have you not, for example. Number 4, the company consistently generates leads based on problems they can solve. So this kind of goes into like what we call niche marketing. If you're wanting to focus like on a specific type of data, for example, you really like to market to probate data, you want to be able to consistently generate leads based on that vexation, as we call it, because you become an expert at helping somebody who's in that situation. And so you're going to pull those records as often as they come from the county, and you're going to market to them right away so that you can consistently generate leads, being like the first, what we call first to market on that type of data. And so you can, based on the problems how to solve, that you've become an expert in, and that you can help property owners with, you're consistently generating those leads out of that data. I'm going to give us a 3 on that one, just as an example. And then there's a process to reach homeowners who have not responded to previous marketing attempts. So that kind of goes back into a little bit what I was talking about with 3, where if you've tried to reach them cold calling, you can determine how many people have I cold called 3 times but haven't gotten contact with the homeowner. Let me move them into maybe bulk SMS. I'm going to text them 3 times. If I still don't reach them, I'm going to move into direct mail. If I don't reach them that way, I'm going to do some deep prospecting on them. So you have a system in place to move them through a process and reach them the best way for them. I'm going to give us a 2 on that one. All right, so once you've done your scores for the section, you're going to total up how many were in each column. So I had 0 ones, I had 2 2s, 2 3s, 1 4, 0 5s. Then you multiply. So this is 0, 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 3 is 6, 1 times 4 is 4, 0 times 5 is 0. And then you add those up. So I'm at 14 on section A. And so I bubble in right here, 14. I'm almost in that good. We did that good, bad, ugly, like where's your score? But then we added ninja, because at SIFT we're ninjas. So like if you're super on point, you're on the ninja mode. So if that was my score in this section, I would be at a 14, which is in the bad, but like borderline good section, right? So that's good. So now I have a score for marketing, and then I'm going to give myself a score for sales and lead management. So newly leads are quickly followed up with and qualified. So I have a process, especially if I have somebody marketing, like if I have a VA doing the marketing and then they notify me, they have a way to notify me, hey, I got a live one. I got a fish on the line. They can notify me so I can reel them in, right? Now, if you're solo right now, I'm not saying like hang up the phone and then call them back later. You would qualify them immediately. But especially if you have more than one team member, you have a way to notify the lead manager. They have a new lead. They can call them, get them qualified. You have a process in place for that. So I'm going to give us a 4 or 5. I'm going to say a 5, because usually this is an area like once somebody has a lead, they have a way to follow up with them and that kind of stuff. Now, all leads and tasks are completed in a timely manner according with their lead temperature. So we call that new lead, we want to determine what temperature is that lead. So we use cold, warm, hot based on how quickly they want to sell. And then once I know that, am I handling them appropriately for their temperature? So for example, if I have a hot lead, we'll talk about this more on Thursday. But if I have a hot lead, that's somebody who wants to sell in 30 days or less. I'm going to be talking to them almost daily compared to somebody who wants to sell, but maybe they don't want to sell till next year. I'm not going to follow up with them almost daily. I'm going to call them again in 45 days or something, right? So I'm handling each person appropriately for their temperature, and I have a way to gauge that and track it and know, like, have a task. I need to call this person again in 45 days. I need to call this person again tomorrow because they want to sell really quickly. So I have a way to manage that. I'm going to give us a 2 on that one. A repeatable process is utilized for smooth handoff between sales departments, lead management to acquisitions, transactions, and dispositions. Now, I want to circle the word between here. Often what I see is people have a way to go like up the ladder. They have a way to hand off from lead management to acquisitions, to start making offers, acquisitions to transactions and dispositions, to start, getting the deal processed. They don't often have a way to go back down the ladder effectively. So if we hand off a lead over to acquisitions to start making offers, but then the offer falls through or we can't reach an agreement, that person just like we stop following up with them. We don't have a process to pass them back down to lead management again and say, hey, you know what? They're not ready to sell right now. Maybe there's too much personal attachment. They want too much money for it, but let's keep them in a lead management process until they are ready to sell, right? So there should be a way to hand off back and forth appropriately. Of course, we always want things going up the ladder, right? We want a smooth process all the way, but we know that's not how it always happens. And sometimes we might have to pass something back down. And so we should have a process in place. I'm going to give us a 1 on that one just because I don't often see that being able to pass it back down the ladder. All offers and communications with seller is documented. So like an REI SIP, which I'll show later in the week, every time, like if you're using one of our integrated click to call services, either AirCall or smartphone, everything is logged in the activity log. You're tracking every time you talk to them, every attempt you make. And in marketing, you might be using something like call tools, right? But in the lead management process, you should be tracking everything, right? So you should be using more like a click to call service at that point, and you should be able to have all the conversations recorded so you can go over them with your team. You document all of the offers you make when you're in the acquisitions process. You document all communications. You have a way to go back and review all of that before number 5, especially because once you're documenting all of that, you will have a way to go back and audit both the deals and the lost opportunity. So when you either close a deal or you lose an opportunity, are you reviewing that either with yourself if you're solo to figure out why, or with your team to figure out why? You can reverse engineer success or avoid the failures in the future that way. So I'm going to give us a 3 on this one. And I'm going to give us a 2 on this one because I don't often see a lot of people, having like the weekly, like on Friday, we meet with our team. We go over some of our phone conversations. Where do we go right with this? Where do we go wrong? We look back over the activity log of a deal we lost and we say, look, became a lead on February 1st and nobody called it again until February 20th and they had already sold their property. What could we have done differently, right? Or, hey, look, we closed this one. Let's look where we were successful. Where could we have improved, right? So you're auditing that regularly. All right, so we had 1 1, 2 2s, 1 3, 0 4s, 1 5. So 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 2 is 4, 3 0 5, 5 10 13. So I'm at a 13 on this one. All right, section 3, we're almost there, y'all. Section 3, operations. So this is where we're going to pull in that profit margin that you calculated at the beginning of the worksheet. So this is the only one we don't do. One, 1 is never, 5 is always. This one's based on the percentage. And so the key is right here. If you were 0 or less because you've never closed a deal, you're going to check off 1 because you're brand new. You're not going to have made a profit yet. Otherwise, you're going to use the percentage. So if you're 1 to 20, you're going to check off 2 if your profit margin. If your profit margin was 21 to 40, 3, 41 to 54, 50% or higher, 5. So mine was 77, so check 5. All employees execute tasks in accordance with the company's mission, vision, and value. So first of all, your company knows what their mission, value, and vision is. What's the mission of your company? What are you trying to achieve? What are the values of your company? Just for example, at REI Sift, we have core values. You can see 2 of them behind me: show up, be what others are counting on, and then another one is be a ninja, but be relentless in everything that you do. So we have, I think, 6 core values, and we all know them at the company. We monthly, we spin a wheel to see, who, if this month's core value is show up, who is the showing up the most, and we vote for that, and we get a reward. Like I won a couple months ago and I got a free day off, so like Tyler does a really good job of instilling those values in us, and we know what our company's mission is. We know what the company's vision is, and that should be the same in your real estate business. And those values, your core values should be what you hire and fire based on, right? And so everybody in the business should be executing tasks to meet the company's mission and vision, right? And you're using that, right? So I'm going to give us a 3 on that one. All team members know their role and can define their monthly, daily, weekly tasks. So I know in my role, like I do this challenge for a week once a month. I call users just to check in on them daily. I have success meetings this often, right? So I'm gearing it more towards my role in REI SIF, but the same thing with you. If you have a VA that does marketing, they know, okay, the first thing I'm going to do is call my initial attempts. Then I'm going to do my due-to-day tasks. Then I'm going to do my overday tasks. They know where to find it. They can define what they do each day, right? It's going to give us a 3 on that one. Team members know where to access SOPs and routinely utilize them to complete their daily routine. So you have like a database, and it can be something free like Google Sheets, which I'll show you on Friday, where you keep your SOPs. For example, how to skip trace data with REI Sift, how to download data from PropStream, how to complete your daily tasks. And they have a place to go, and they can see, what are the steps I need to take when I need to complete this action. So 2 on that one. And then flow charts are routinely updated to illustrate processes. So you have a flow chart to show, how do you do your marketing? The first thing I'm going to do is get my data. Then I'm going to skip trace it. Then I'm going to do this. Then I'm going to do this. And you kind of have a flow chart to show them that process. And when something changes, you update it to illustrate that process. Goes a 3 on that one. Sometimes this is a lower section because often the last thing we do is implement some of these operations. And especially if you're solo, you may not see the need for it. But one thing to keep in mind is that when you go to hire somebody, you want to have the role clearly defined, even if it's only you right now fulfilling all of the roles. We kind of have 6 key departments. We have admin, marketing, lead management, and sales management. 6 departments. We have admin, marketers, lead managers, acquisitions, transactions, dispositions. And so even if it's you doing all of that right now, you kind of want to define those roles individually. So it's like when you're doing lead management, you like put on your lead manager hat. And when you do marketing, you put on your marketer hat, so that when you go to hire for one of those positions, you know clearly like what their role could be. Sometimes the person you hire might be filling 2 roles when they first start, right? But you want to define what those roles are. So as you hire for positions, you have what their role will be. And you have the operations in place, like you start recording Loom videos of how you do certain processes. And we'll talk more about that on Friday. All right, let's add this up. So we had 1, 2, 3 3s, 0 4s, 1 5. So 2, 6, 0, 5. Got a 13 again. Giving myself a lot of 13s and 14s, I guess, today. All right. KPIs, the last section. All right. KPIs are used to measure and monitor progress towards specific goals. So you have specific objectives. You have a specific objective in mind, and you use the KPIs to monitor your progress, right? So you want to generate a certain number of leads this month. You want to know like how many calls does it take to generate a lead on average, and then you use that to make sure that you're making enough calls to reach that objective, right? I'm going to give us a 3 on that one. Company reviews KPIs based on roles regularly. So, you're looking at, based on this role, what should I be tracking? And are we tracking the appropriate things in that role? Because somebody who's doing marketing is going to have slightly different KPIs than somebody who is doing lead management. It's going to have slightly different things they're tracking than somebody who's doing the acquisitions process. But everybody has something that they're tracking. Everybody has a number. All right. So we're going to give that. I'm going to assume that you guys are tracking at least some KPIs. So I'm going to give us a 4. KPI data is used to stay on track, make necessary adjustments, and maximize results. So you don't just arbitrarily, here's what happens that we see a lot, right? The most common thing that we hear is, I'm not generating the leads that I want, as many leads as I want. So what's the first reaction to that? I'm going to call more people, right? I'm going to throw more numbers into the bulk dialer. I'm going to call more people. That's kind of like that, spray and pray marketing technique. Bulk marketing is a perfectly viable option as long as you're still tracking everything and keeping up with everything and doing it in a processed way. But often when you're not getting the lead generation you want, the answer is not just call more people. Because are you doing the calling that you're doing effectively, right? So you're going to look at your KPIs, and it kind of leads into number 4 a little bit, to figure out where is the real problem, and let me adjust that. I'm going to give us a 2 on that one. And 4 kind of ties in. A process is followed to diagnose the problems within problems of non-performing KPIs. So if you're not getting the lead generation you want, you're going to dig in. You're going to look at ratios, which we'll talk about on day 5. Is my problem not having enough correct numbers? Is my problem not making enough calls? Is my problem, I get a lot of correct numbers, but they're not converting into leads. And so that has to do with, like, what kind of conversations are you having? How are you following up with your leads? The not interested, which sometimes people don't even take into account. How are you following up with your not interesteds? That's a correct number to a property owner. So it should have its own follow-up, because they may not be interested today, but we know market changes. We know there's a certain number of amount of turnover every year. So they may not be interested today, but in 6 months or a year, their circumstance could change, and you already have the correct number for that homeowner. So are you following up with your not interested? So all of those things, you're going to really dig in. I'm not getting the leads I want. It may not be that you need to dial more people. It can be that you need to follow up with your not interested, that you need to have better lead follow-up. So you want to dig into there to find the problems within the problems. I'm going to give us a 3 on that one. And then all team members' actions are tracked daily. So everybody in your company is responsible for a number, and they're tracking that so that you can, hold them accountable, and they can hold themselves accountable to working towards the goals that you have. I'm going to give us a 5. All right. So I had 0, 1. This might be our highest section. Maybe. Let's see. 1, 2, 1, 1. So 0, 2, 6, 4, 5, 9, 15. Oh yeah, 17, 8. Let me just make sure. 12. Yeah, 17. So I'm in the good section. 16, 17. Ooh. All right. So I'm going to come down. I'm going to put those scores there. Let me just go back and see what I had. So 14, 13, 13, 17. 14, 13, 13, 17, which adds up to, so this was my marketing, just so that you can see it. Like, this is sales and lead management. This was operations. And this was KPIs. And so I can calculate my overall score, which that's 27, that's 30. So my overall score was 57. Now the bubble line here does not count by 1. So you're gonna have to kind of approximate where 57 might be. But what this allows you to do, if we look at the interpreting results, is focus in on the area that needs the most work right now. So if these are my scores, sales and lead management and operations are my 2 lowest scores right now. And so I'd want to focus on one of those first. Maybe I would do sales and lead management first, and then do, operations next, or whatever your lowest section is, wherever you need to dig in the most. And so what we're going to do is we're going to dig in. Now, this is actually we're going to talk about So tomorrow at 10 a.m., we'll talk about marketing. Thursday at 10 a.m., we'll talk about sales and lead management, 10 a.m. Central Time. And then on Friday, because I started on a Tuesday this week, I'm going to combine those two. On Friday, we'll talk about operations and KPIs live at 10 a.m. on Friday. So you can choose. I'd love it if you guys were live with me every day this week, because then I have more people with me and I get more interaction, hopefully. Or you can choose, just to focus in on, like, if sales and lead management was my lowest score and that's what I want to focus on this month, I could just tune in to day 3. So that's up to you how you guys want to handle that. If you want to join every day, or if you just want to join on your lower score days. Let's see. Back to here. Nope. There we go. All right, so that completes like the worksheet itself. What we want to do just a little bit, I'd love for you guys to share your score. You don't have to share the number. You can either share the number overall, or what I really want to know is, like, what area do you need to focus on the most? So, like, what was the area that had the lowest score? So I'll give you guys a minute to comment in what area, so for me, it was sales and lead management. I'll type that in. Maybe my mouse will work. So sales and lead management was the area that I need to focus on the most. And so I'd love for you guys to comment in there too. What focus area did you need to focus on the most if you finished the worksheet? All right, Daniel says all of them, LOL. Well, that's all right. You know what you need to focus on now, and we'll get you there, right? Are you already an REI SIF user, Daniel? Oh, KPI, he says. KPIs for sure. Yeah, he's already a user. I thought so. Awesome. So we can tune in over the week, especially on Friday when we talk about KPIs. And then, we can also get you scheduled with a call. If you want to email me, I can also get you on a call depending on what plan you're on, just for a check-in too. All right. See if anybody else shares their score, I'll pop it up. But I'm going to go to the next one. Right. Again, if you're brand new if you haven't ever signed up, you can use this code when you sign up, 5-day audit. You get $25 in free credits. We talked about where you want to improve. All right. Ooh, it's glitching a little bit, isn't it? The mouse looks weird. I'm gonna try to unplug that one. Yeah, that fixed it. All right. I think my wireless mouse was acting up. Awesome, Daniel. All right, so remember, this shifted a little bit, the days. We're going to do Wednesday marketing, Thursday sales and lead management. Friday we'll combine operations and KPIs. We'll be live at 10 a.m. every day Central Time. All right, sometimes I forget to do this, but I'm going to, like, as soon as we get off the live, I'm going to post this in the thing, and you can comment what was your audit scores, what issues. You can, let me put it in the comments. Daniel, you can email me. But my mouse is really spazzing out. Here we go. What plan are you on, Daniel? Do you know? Because I can send you the link too when we get off. Depending on what plan you're on, like, you have a call with a different Success Ninja. But I can give you the link. When you're on business plan, guys, you get, like, kind of unlimited one-on-one calls. When you're, like, first 90 days on business plan, you get one-on-one onboarding calls with Bennett. He's the business ninja, Success Ninja. You get one-on-one calls with Bennett during onboarding, during that 90 days to get you set up. And then once you kind of get past the 90 days, you kind of can book a strategy call every 30 days or so to go over strategy stuff. And then you also get one-on-one calls with support if you need to. When you're on the middle plan, you don't kind of get that, like, constant one-on-one support, but Katie is your Success Ninja, and she reaches out to you on the professional plan. And I can give you her link, Daniel, so you can book a call with her. She would do success calls with you, but it's not like that, one-on-one, like, premium support that you would get on the business plan, but we do offer like, she'll send you your link if you need some support. And so I'll give you her link to book with her. And then when you're on the essentials plan, Armani is your success ninja, and he reaches out, calling, texting, all that kind of stuff too. So those of you who are users, like that's kind of who you would reach out to when you need help. And our emails are all like our first name at reisif.io. I am over customer success, so you can always reach out to me, Jessica at reisif.io. And then when you're on the essentials plan, Armani at reisif.io. Business or professional plan, Katie, it's K. I'll give you her email too, because her name is spelled differently than the normal Katie. Katie at reisif.io. She is the professional plan ninja. And then Bennett is the business plan ninja. So there's 4 of us here to support you whenever you need help. All right, let's see. This mouse. You guys, I get used to like that wireless mouse and wireless keyboard, and then when they don't work and I have to use like my trackpad, it's like, what is going on? All right. So that's kind of where we're going to wrap it up for today. So you're welcome to hop off if you want to. We've covered all the content today. This last 5 minutes or so, I'm going to cover the offer that we put together based on this challenge. Kind of when we started this challenge was the first time we started offering this offer. So you feel free to hop off if you don't want to stick around for this part. Look out for that homework post in the Facebook community. I would love to get some interaction on that. And if you want to stick around and kind of hear the offer, then stick around. What we kind of figured out is sometimes people just are like, hey, can you set it all up for me? Can you like set up my entire CRM process, my data management process? Can you just set it up for me? And we didn't previously offer that service. And so when Tyler kind of was digging into like, okay, can I offer that? How much would it cost? He saw that it can cost like upwards of $1,000 to get like a complete CRM setup. And so we thought, let's put it together like it's part of a package so we can offer like at a little bit of a discount along with being on the business plan. And this can apply to like if you're brand new to REI Sift, or if you're just joining in, like if you're already a user and you want us to help you set it up even further, or audit kind of where you're at and build in some new processes. So what we did is we're calling it the Instant Ninja. When Tyler kind of looked at this, he saw like, people are charging like for complete sales and system creation up to upwards of $5,000. And so this would include, but we're going to give it to you like at a bit of a discount with some other things. Gathering and verifying your information, like your marketing strategy and how you want to focus on your account setup, creating your account and doing it to your needs and requirements. Then we go over and have those consistent calls like I talked about, because you'll be on the business plan to teach you how to use it, but then to also continue to support you with onboarding and premium support. And that's important because like if we build a process and then you figure out it's not quite working for you, we can help you adjust that process. If you're already a user, I'm actually helping somebody right now who is already a user when he claimed this bonus. And so I've gone back into his account and kind of looked at the processes that he already had, and we're streamlining it, and we're kind of, I don't want to say fixing it, but kind of fixing it to fit really what his needs are a little bit better. And so we just had a meeting yesterday, and I was setting up some of his marketing folders and his lead management board, and especially the sequences. He didn't have a lot of his sequences built out to build some automations. So we still can give you the service that if you're already a user, and we just adjust your account as needed. You'll be able to generate your leads, document all your offers and communication, be consistent, and we'll have those sequences firing so you get the tasks you need to do to complete the necessary tasks every day. That said, you still have to be consistent and complete those tasks, because I don't know about you, but if you impersonated my account right now and looked at my account, I have some overdue tasks. And so even though I have all the automations in place, I have to be in there completing those tasks every day. You won't be wasting money, losing deals, falling behind, although you could if you don't log in and do your tasks. Missing follow-ups with sellers, guessing on who buys in certain areas, not having a process. You'll be able to avoid a lot of these things because that system will be in place for you. But we wanted to combine that with a few other things. So some other things that are included in this bonus would be being on the business plan for 3 months. Business plan is our highest tier, which is $299 per month, but you would get 3 months included, which is $900 in value about. And these are some of the things that are included. The biggest thing is unlimited records, storage. You can upload 25,000 a month. You have inbound and outbound integrations, and you have a designated support ninja and strategy ninja, like I talked about with those calls, where you get unlimited one on one calls for strategy, onboarding, and support. If you already have an account, we would upgrade you to business for free for 3 months. If you're already on the business plan, we extend your billing for 3 months. So, like, you wouldn't get charged for the business plan for 3 months. So, that applies whether you're a user or not. You also get that premium onboarding, which is like a $1,500 value where we do customized training, personalized support, tailored implementation. We help you adjust anything that we built if you need any adjustments during that time. You also get access to all of our courses, and this is our Data Dollars Challenge, our most popular challenge. It used to be live. I hosted it live for several months. Now it's pre-recorded based on the last time I was live. Do have the intention when time allows to re-record it with some of the updates we have now in a not live format, but right now it's the last time it was live. And it teaches you how to build your account from zero to fully kind of built. And kind of shows you all the capabilities and you can adjust it based on what marketing you want to do. So like if I show, a niche setup or vacancy, you adjust it to what you want to do. Um, if you can't grab the bonus right now that we talk about because it doesn't make sense for you financially, this is also a good option because you would be able to, for the $299, see examples and build it out yourself and all that kind of thing. All right, this is some of the stuff that's said about our challenge. Yes. So Daniel said, is onboarding support ran by one person? Yes. So onboarding calls is handled by Bennett. He's our customer success ninja on the business plan. And so it would usually be him, or sometimes like me or Armani would take over calls, like if he's on leave or something. But it is not a VA, it's one of us. There's four success ninjas. All right. And the same thing with strategy calls. They used to be mostly Tyler, but now it's Bennett or me or Amani doing those strategy calls. Yeah, good question. Then you also get all of our other courses as part of this bonus. You get the deep prospecting, KPI masterclass, lead management blueprint, deal analysis, wholesale real estate business course. So all of our courses you would have access to for unlimited time in the learning portal. All right, so this is the cost of the bonus. When you add up those things, it's a little bit over $10,000 in value, but you can get it for a little under $3,297. Whenever I say 2,997, I feel like I sound like a commercial, but uh, so a little under $3,000. I'm gonna put this in the comments. If you are able to take advantage of it, we, welcome the opportunity to help you set up your account, and allow you to have that access in your account to be able to, log in and kind of get started. And you can still, your account's still fully customizable, so you can add things in after we set it up, or when you're on an onboarding call or strategy call, we can help you build out new processes, new things, adjust as time goes on as well. I just want to get to this part real quick because we do have some bonuses if you're able to claim quickly. Save this link if you can't claim it right now. The link is good, forever. But if you're able to claim it as one of the first people this month, then you also get these fast action bonuses. One is that will help you migrate some of your data into SIFT. So if you previously had some data in another system, you can download it and share it with us in a Google Drive, and we'll help you upload it. Now, sometimes you do have to do a little bit of like cleaning up, meaning like first and last name have to be in separate columns, just for example. But if it's ready for upload, we'll help you upload it into the system and all that kind of stuff and make sure it's on the appropriate list and that kind of thing. So we'll help you migrate some of that data over. That's one action bonus. Another is I do have a little SOP index example put together. We'll talk about it more on Friday, but these blue ones do have example SOPs linked. So for example, you can see like, what would this SOP look like? And then you can just adapt it to your needs. The black ones don't have examples yet, but it gives you like, what should a database kind of look like in something like Google Sheets? And then the blue ones are linked to a document, so that you can make a copy and use it for your SOPs. You also get our SIF Ninja t-shirt. You probably see us wearing sometimes. There's Tyler wearing it. And then we recently got these hoodies. I guess it's been a few months now. But you'll also get we either have a hoodie version or a sweatshirt version, and you can see Tyler wearing it. At the time I made this slideshow, it was like brand new, and I didn't have a picture of the back. And Tyler's wife had taken this picture of him getting a stop notice on his duplex, like stop work notice. And so he was grouchy, but he looked cool, in his ninja sweatshirt. All right. Again, there is the link. I love to work with you if you decide to take advantage of it, if you can. If not, definitely check out that Data to Dollars challenge in our learning portal. Also, really awesome for helping you get set up. Reach out to your Success Ninja, like I mentioned, and look out for that Facebook post to comment your homework. And I'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. to talk about marketing. And I look forward to seeing you all unless there's any questions. Oh, don't forget to set up your affiliate link. Um, I'll talk more about it tomorrow. I'll put it at the beginning of the slideshow tomorrow. But we do have affiliate program with REI Sift. It's kind of like people don't take advantage of it as much as they should. You get 20% recurring commission as long as whoever you refer as a user. So every month that they pay, you get 20%. So we have people that pay for their membership, by having that, affiliate income that compensates, for their subscription or more. So definitely check it out. You can just go to the affiliate tab on the left side of your REI Sift account and share that affiliate link in your other Facebook groups with the other investors you know. And just by giving other people like the insight and clarity and processes into their data and their marketing, you make a little bit of profit too by sharing it with them. All right. Again, if you're not a user, use this code when you sign up. And I will see y'all tomorrow.